Hello everyone, AmandaSushii here, and we are talking episode 21 through 24, basically the season finale of Apothecary Diaries season 1. And I am shook, so let's just get started. This episode first starts off with Maomao basically solving the doctor, the one who has, he's the actual doctor of the palace. She solves his family problem because they own this high-end paper making machine, and they are usually the supplier for the palace, but there was something wrong with their formula, and Maomao basically figures out from what he's telling her, which is basically everything about how to make their very nice quality paper, that their oxen is drinking their formula in their barrels, and the oxen's saliva and stuff is just making it less sticky, so therefore less good quality for the paper. And so he figures that out and he goes to tell his family. And his background actually surprised me because I didn't expect him to be interesting, but Maomao and him, they were eating snacks on his family's high quality paper. She notices that, and the way he's just using it for snacks, she's like, this guy is from a wealthy family, he must have grown up like that. And then she learns that he technically was, but then they lost their fortune, and to save his second sister, he decided to come work for the palace, become a eunuch. And it kind of shows that he put himself to kind of protect his sister, his family. And this shows the way their body, even in the male side, is almost a commodity, because the women, yes, they have their courtesans, and that's how they use their body to earn their living. And then on the doctor's side, he wants to take care of his family and make sure his other sister doesn't go into anything she doesn't want to do and stays in the family business. So he became a eunuch to do that. And it's just an interesting side to see someone who is willingly a eunuch and his story. So yeah, he's a little bit more interesting than I gave him credit for. And then we jump to Lehaku asking Maomao. He believes Paran is the courtesan who is going to be bought out, and he's like, how much would she be? And all that stuff. And Maomao, she knows there ain't no way this man has got the silver for one of the princesses of the Verdigras brothel, okay? Maomao is more like, is he Paran's type? Is he her personality type? And is he her body type? And this is where we get that scene where she's like, strip. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And he is down to his loincloth. And she's, listen, first of all, okay, Lehaku, we see you, military guy, period. But then he's down to his loincloth, and she's like, yeah, you're gonna need to take that out. But of course, Jinshi, his spidey senses were tingling, and he was like, not on my watch. So he barges in, and he's like, what in tarnation are you doing with my girlfriend right now? And in typical Maomao fashion, she gives him no reassurance that nothing weird is going on. She says things bluntly. She's like, yep, I asked him to strip down so I could see what he looked like. I had to evaluate him. Girl! I am realizing Maomao is a very unreliable narrator that we're following around. She thinks Jinshi is jealous of Lehaku because Jinshi wants to be the most beautiful man in the room, is what she's thinking. But Jinshi is just more jealous that this entire scenario is going on and Maomao is looking at another guy. And I love it. I love this type of cutesy misunderstandings. Correction, I love cutesy misunderstandings when they're immediately understood, as it was with this episode, because Maomao lets Jinshi know that, oh, I was evaluating him for my sister, Paran. And so Jinshi's like, oh, okay, easy. So then the next day he has a meeting with Lehaku with Gaoshin next to him as well. Jinshi basically offers Lehaku over the amount he needs to buy Paran, and Lehaku, a man of honor, rejects that, and he says, it wouldn't be an honest way. I want to earn her on my own, and just like an honest man. And Jinshi is happy with this answer. He wanted this answer because that shows Lehaku's, character. It shows that he is an honest man. He doesn't want to just take the easy way out. He wants to earn her in his own way and be worthy of her in his own way. He doesn't want to take the shortcut and use somebody else's money to get her. And so this satisfies Jinshi. And at first I was like, oh, he was like evaluating Lehaku's character. Like, is this a good guy to be around Maomao? But no, actually he is big braining this entire thing, because he's like, oh right, with, you know, a love proclamation that Lehaku just gave and that he wouldn't accept his money, that shows that Lehaku was super into Paden and not into Maomao. Jinshi is just big brain and trying to figure out, does Lehaku like Maomao, and realizes, nope, they're just kind of like friends, so that's fine. And Lehaku is totally obsessed with Paden, so Jinshi is satisfied, and that was just so funny. And at the end, Maomao is reading the letter from Paden, and it's basically what she thought, like the silver wasn't needed. Paden does actually like Lehaku, and it looks like they had some kind of correspondence, and maybe it's some kind of like, they're just waiting for him to get his bread up, get that bag up, and then he can buy her. And in this world that we're in, and now that we have finished season 1, it's like this Lehaku Paden story is like, you know, not common for the man to still want to buy her, and she gets this choice. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for this one. And I don't know, it's just so cute, especially after knowing the end with Maomao's parents. Like, this is like another alternate universe where it actually ended up good. It's almost like a 1 in a million type thing where Lehaku wants her to like respect him, and that's why he wants to be the one to earn her, and she's willing to wait. And yeah, I like them. Shipped. They're shipped. The next episode is Blue Roses, and this one is basically Lock-in giving Jinshi the most impossible task ever. And okay, I'm just going to skip, because I assume you're listening to this, you've already finished season 1. I feel like Lock-in gave this task, this impossible task, to Jinshi because, you know, he doesn't like obviously now we know that he doesn't see people's faces, and I feel like he gave this task to Jinshi just because he didn't like him hanging around Maomao so much and wanted to like annoy him a little bit, because he thought like they had a weird relationship before he knew that they were like employer and employee type thing. And so I think he just wanted to get under her skin and annoy him because he's always around Maomao. So Jinshi accepts this because he just, you know, it's something he can't say no to. He's like obligated to say yes to him. And so he's like getting frustrated, and of course he brings in Maomao, his #1 problem solver. And at first she's like, I don't know what you mean, but she's looking at him and he looks like stressed, tired, and then she finds out the task is from Lock-in, and she's like, you know what, challenge accepted, I'm gonna figure this out. This episode is like Maomao and Jinshi proving to Lock-in, hey, the impossible is possible, but nice try, you know, like, we got you, we rose to the challenge and we beat it, thank you so much. Maomao is out here running a greenhouse. She's an apothecary and a herbalist, like, all right. Professor Sprout, like, I like her friend, the little one, Xiaolin, like the other servant girl, and she's on good terms with Maomao, especially, like, they started together and they're still good friends, and Maomao gives her treats and stuff here and there. And there was like a caterpillar on one of the plants, and all the guards were afraid of it, and Xiaolin she just takes it and she's like, oh, look at that. And I'm like, maybe she's gonna be like a little bug girl. She'll be like the Shino of Apothecary Diaries. And the part where they were like, you know, the other ladies in waitings just kind of like looking at them, looking at what they were doing and stuff, I didn't quite understand that, but I did see like it was to do the nail trend thing, to get Maomao's nails to look like her mom's nails, to get to Lock-in basically. But I don't know, was it just like they were irritating Maomao, just constantly staring at her and stuff like that? So she was like, you know what, let me just distract them. I know exactly what to distract them with. Started the nail polish thing, and basically Maomao is an influencer. She's a trendsetter because she had all the girlies in the palace doing their nails. And that just little thing of getting all the ladies in the palace to do their nails, and then Lock-in, she knows he can't see faces, but he can see hands, and he's just walking around seeing all these nails similar to the one woman he loved. It's a good thing Maomao doesn't hate him. Whoever she actually dislikes, good luck, because Yeah, that was crazy. Of course, Maomao pulls off the blue flowers. I remember doing this experiment actually as a kid. I don't know what grade, but did you guys ever do that? The rose dyeing experiment. I don't know. I know we got to do it and it was super fun. So yeah, so she was able to obviously pull it off, and Jinshi, instead of looking at the roses, he's looking at her because she is tired. She has put like sweat into this. I was gonna say sweat and tears, but the girl doesn't cry. So she has put everything into this because she wants to prove Locken wrong. And I also think she wants Jinshi to look good, which he did in front of the Emperor. And also Maomao had like a private audience with the Emperor and Lady Gyoko, and she was showing them how she did it. So very interesting that she has such a close connection to the Emperor. Like, cool. He's on my good list ever since Jinshi mentioned like he thinks it's weird that the previous emperor liked like younger people like Lady Lishu and stuff. So I'm like, okay, this current emperor, okay, he's not bad. He's on my good list right now. So we get a little bit of Lady Lolin and ew to her dad, Shisho, gross. He goes there like presenting her to the emperor for her event or whatever. And then he goes, how is she? Is there any recommendations you need or whatever? Like, dude, disgusting. Don't ask that. You don't need ew. Obviously she attended Maomao's class. She's fine. But Jinshi knows the Shisho guy, Laolin's father, is going to be a problem. And then he's also, when he's presenting the roses to the emperor, he's also talking about like the enemies among the court. So that's kind of another detail adding to my idea that he, like, yes, we know he's part of the royal family, whether they think he's the son or the brother, whatever. We know he's the son, but I don't know if they know he's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they know he's the son. We know he's the son, but do they know he's the son? Or is he like considered the brother and they're keeping it on the down low, but he's also a spy? Like, that would be perfect. Like, they don't know he's part of the royal family and he's a spy, so he can like track down any like internal problems. So maybe that's his role in the palace. I don't know. This episode ends with Maomao completely facing Locken, and this is the first time we see it as viewers that she's seeing Locken. So to me, I was like, this is the first time, you know, father-daughter meet. But alas, I was so wrong. So wrong. It's embarrassing. And then we see Locken's POV where basically everyone's appearing as a chess piece, pawns. And so I immediately was like, he doesn't care about people. He views people as pawns. But, you know, now we know. It's not his fault. He literally sees people as nothing, and that is not his fault. It is a disease. Anyway, on to the next episode. Episode 23, Balsam and Wood Sorrel. So basically, Maomao challenges Locken to a chess game, and if she loses, she has to go with him, but she is under contract with Jinshi, and that's where Locken learns, oh, they're employee and employer, not, you know, like courtesan and owner, whatever. Like, so he's like, haha, oh, he's just an employer. And then if he loses, he has to go purchase a courtesan from Verdigras brothel. And I knew something was off when she wasn't angry, she wasn't hateful, she wasn't glaring at him. She was just like, okay, we're gonna play a game, we're gonna play a few matches, and, you know, whoever the loser of each match is has to drink these things, and one of them is filled with alcohol, and if you drink 3, it'll turn into a poison, LOL. So, like, she was so nonchalant that it wasn't giving what we thought. She obviously doesn't hate him. So, you know, I just feel led astray. I just feel led astray from everything we've seen. But I'll discuss it later. Let's continue. Let's continue on with this episode. So she loses 2 matches already. And if she loses 1 more and she drinks it and it's the alcohol, it's going to be poison. And Locken is an overprotective father, a doting father. He cares about her, okay? And so he's like, I'm going to lose this match on purpose. Loses it on purpose. Maomao big-brained him, and Locken ends up on the ground because the man doesn't drink alcohol, and oh my god, I have something in common with him. We both don't drink alcohol, and I would pass out too from 1 drink. But yeah, so he can't handle his alcohol, passes out, and Maomao knew that would happen. So yeah, she knocked out her own father. Nice. And this is where we get to the nitty-gritty good stuff with Locken's background and him and Mao's mom, and basically he wakes up in the verdigris brothel. Honestly, what the heck? This made me so sad, and I'm pissed off at the madam or the grandma, the granny lady who's in charge at the brothel. So basically, you know, Lock-in wasn't well liked by his father because he has that illness, disease, whatever, where he can't see people's faces, he can't discern faces, so of course that poses like a huge problem. His uncle! So that makes the uncle, Dr. Lumen, Mao's great uncle, I guess? Or, I don't know, yeah, great uncle? Anyway, whatever. His uncle, Dr. Lumen, helps him, and he becomes this strategic guy, and he's good at doing chess, and then his friends take him to the verdigris brothel, and he meets Mao's mom, who is a, you know, high up courtesan who does not sell herself. She is a brainiac, smart woman, and she is really good at playing chess, and she beats him, and he looks up and he recognizes her face. He can see her face. It's the first face he's ever seen. That is romance, I tell you. They're both smart people. They develop this relationship of chess and wits, and then Mao's mom is about to get bought out by somebody, but I guess like we don't really have her, you know, personal point of view of it, but you can assume like she doesn't want to be bought out by that person. She likes Lock-in, like she, you know, or at least deems him someone safe, someone good for her, whatever. And so one night she does that bet, similar to Mao's little bet while they were playing that game with the drinking earlier with the chess, but she proposes a bet, and if she wins, she can take anything she wants from Lock-in, and if he wins, she'll do anything he wants or something. And I guess Lock-in didn't realize she meant, hey, I'm taking your sperm. I'm sorry. And then midway through the game, they hit that pow pow, they hit that boom boom, and they, you know, create Mao, unbeknownst to Lock-in, and he leaves. And then he gets sent on this 3-year abroad trip because his dad's forcing him to go, because Dr. Lumen brought so much disgrace on their family for getting kicked out for the baby incident, Jinshi's baby switching stuff. So anyway, so Lock-in is basically forced to go abroad, and Mao's mother is a courtesan who's pregnant, and what do we know about pregnant courtesans? They basically have zero value. And here's the thing. As Mao is, as Lock-in is, Mao's mother is a brainiac. She was thinking, the wheels were turning for her. She was thinking, I don't want to get bought out by this person. And this Lock-in guy, he's smart. He's good at chess, and he seems, you know, high up. And if I can lower my value just a little bit, he can buy me. And even Mao like thought about this later in the episode as well. Like, her mom was kind of manipulating Lock-in with the time frames that he was coming, right? And so the thing is, like, you know, Lock-in, Mao, and Mao's mom, they're just so smart and strategic. But if her mom had communicated to Lock-in, hey, I don't want to be bought out, and if you can buy me out, that would be great, and I can lower my value if possibly we could get pregnant, you could buy me out, and, you know, whatever, like, he probably would have gone for it or something, I feel like, because that's the only person he can see. I feel like he would want to hang on to that one person he can see, you know? I just felt like, I don't know, communication. Communication is key in relationships, people, and I know this isn't, like, it's a courtesan, like, buyer thing, but listen, communication is key. But alas, no communication. He was gone for 3 years, and she was pregnant, courtesan, her value was gone, and so she just, you know, had to do sex work with whatever, and she ended up getting syphilis, and yeah, basically her life was ruined. And he comes back 3 years later, finds the letter and the little baby pinky, kind of, or like a piece of the pinky in her finger, and he runs there. And this is why I'm pissed at that madam, the granny. Like, he came there, he was worried about her. He's like, where is she? And she's like, she's gone. She's not gone. She's in your little area there. Just this could have been resolved years ago. Years ago. And I understand the granny's like, you know, defending her girls, like she like feels hurt that this happened to her, you know, her courtesan, basically her family, like this guy like got her knocked up and then left her and she had to fend for herself. Completely understand that she is protecting her, right? But it's also like he came back, like he didn't know and he came back, and and basically we jump back to the present and we're in the last episode, episode 24, called Jinshi and Maomao, period. But we're still with Lock-in and he's in the brothel and he has to choose amongst the courtesans which one he wants to buy, and Maomao had given him the blue rose in like a little thing, and it's like, just because it's withered doesn't mean it's not beautiful. Maomao out here doing the most. She's doing the parent. Maomao is doing the parent trap successfully. Yes, girl. And at first Lock-in is like, maybe I'll go with Mei. She's the only one here I know. Even though I can't see her face, I kind of know her. So Mei is like, nah. And so she opens the door and the granny's like, what are you doing? And Lock-in is like, my love is through those doors, and he is running. And this is the romance drama I'm here for. He's running, he breaks his little monocle thingy, he jumps over like the bush and all this stuff, and he finds her. And the thing is, like, you know, we saw her earlier, but in his eyes, she looks just like how she did before, just so beautiful and full of life and gorgeous. And it was just the best scene ever. Maomao's successful parent trap. 100% success. And Mei and the granny are watching, and Mei said something along the lines of, if we had just let him find her, like this could have happened sooner. And yes, the granny, the madam, what the heck? Let people have their happy ending. Don't let your feelings of hatred of what happened to her, like it wasn't intentional. It's just, I'm so pissed off about it because they wasted so many years, and at least now they have their happy ending. But there was some blurb that was like, you know, Lock-in has taken a leave of absence, and Maomao's mom might not have that much time left, but at least like the time she has left will be spent with somebody who loves her and sees her how she was, as beautiful as ever, and she can just live life kind of how past her wanted to live life, even though she might be sick. And yeah, and you know, bittersweet, but I'm happy they found each other in the end, you know? Then after that beautiful dramatic scene, we see, I think it's Maomao and Basin together, and then they spot Lady Laolin and her dad, Shisho or whatever, and Basin is like straight up like, I don't like them, there's something weird about them. And Maomao's like, could you not bad talk people in public, please? We're in the palace, thank you so much. And it's funny that she's the one thinking that, but I'm sure in season 2 that Lady Laolin and her dad, like that family, we're gonna see something happening. And I just think, I don't know, my prediction for that is that Lady Laolin is just like a pawn for her father. Like she just has no choice, because that's what it seems like, you know, for a lot of these, at least the like courtesans in the palace, like a lot of them just kind of don't have, they have to do it for their family. So that's why she's there, for her family, and she's just a pawn for her dad. So I think her dad was definitely involved in the scheme to get the thing to fall on Jinshi during whatever that ceremony was. So yeah, but my prediction is Lady Laolin has nothing to do with it, but her dad does. So we'll see. And then we have a little scene where it's Maomao, Jinshi, and Gaoshin, and they're chatting about what happened, and Maomao is like, I don't hate Lock-in. I'm grateful because I wouldn't be here without him and all that stuff. So my last episode, we were talking about, remember the resurrection drug in the military garden she found, and she was talking to that girl about it, Sriwei? I thought she wanted the resurrection drug to help her mother. No, Maomao wants this drug to create something to impress her adoptive dad, Dr. Lumen, because that's whose approval she wants. That's what she cares about. That's what her goal is. She is obsessed with just like creating something, and then also his praise. She doesn't care about resurrecting anyone. She just wants to impress him and create something. So she's our little obsessed apothecary girly. And what I'm understanding from her interactions with people and how she thinks, she doesn't realize she actually cares about people, but does stuff for them anyway. Like, she's very nonchalant about Lock-in and her mom, but then devises all these plans and gets him to buy her out, and they can have a nice life together for however short it might be. They can still like end up together. And then she also does stuff for Jinshi because she sees like when he's stressed, and she did that blue flower thing for him. And I think she's just not realizing that she is kind of getting emotions for people. Like, she is emotionally attached to people, but she just doesn't realize it. She just does things with her actions. But anyway, let's end on that beautiful dance. Oh my gosh. When she took off her like work clothes and revealed that like dancer outfit, I was like, what is this? Who is this? Is she like a secret like agent and this is her outfit? I don't know. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I did not expect the dance in a song. I was like, how does she know how to do that? Who is this? Like, it just, I was shocked. I was shocked. But it was beautiful, ethereal, just such a well done scene. I loved it. It just shows that we don't know Maomao at all. Like, there was no indication that this woman knew how to dance and sing. Thank you very much, okay? I didn't see any clues. If you saw any, please let me know. But anyway, Jinshi, so I don't think he saw her do the whole routine. I think when she was done, he was climbing up. That's what I think. Let me know, because I feel like if he saw her dancing and stuff, he would just pass out. But anyway, he startled her at the end when he popped up and she was about to fall, and then he caught her. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Catch your woman. And then they're having this conversation and she mentions her pinky. And to be honest, in the anime, it just looks kind of normal, maybe a little bent or something. But yeah, I didn't really notice any weird things about her pinky, but she said it grew back. So anyway, and I love that the guard was like, another woman is climbing up the wall. And then they see it's her and they immediately know to go get Jinshi to deal with her because they ain't dealing with it. And then her leg wound opens up and we get the princess carry. Hey, I love a princess carry. Oh my gosh. And they were so cute and close. And it was almost what we wanted until she says, do you have that Ox Bazor thingy you promised me? And then he headbutts her. Love it. I just love this anime. Like, they're so silly. It's just like Tamaki and Haruhi, but in feudal times, and Tamaki is just not as crazy. And then the ending is basically them back at Lady Gyoko's palace the next day, it seems like. And Jinshi's asking Maomao if she could help with another mystery. And yeah, that's where season 1 ends. And I have to say, I really, really love this series. It's so cute, but with lots of mysteries still. And I love when it's like mysteries they have to solve, but also like within like Jinshi, like, who is he really? What is really his role? What's going to happen with Suire, the girl, you know, who she pretended to be dead and used the drugs and left? Like, I assume we're going to see her again. Like, there's so many things I'm wondering about. And then also, of course, when are Maomao and Jinshi getting together? But I loved it. I didn't really have too many expectations going into this, but when I first started, I thought it was gonna be like kind of like a cutesy anime with some drama here and there. But it's super mature themes of like freedom, the value of someone's body, like what people have to do for survival, and just, you know, just things like that. But then also with the concubine drama, the lineage, like, it's so good. It has everything. I really enjoyed this anime. I can't wait to start season 2. Actually, I am waiting to start season 2, so definitely check my titles on here because it might be like a month or so before I start season 2 on this. I'm going to do a few other shows, kind of take a break from anime and then go into like kind of a regular show and then go back to anime. And if you'd like to keep up with me, definitely follow me on TikTok and Instagram at AmandaSushii with 2 eyes. Thanks you guys so much for listening to season 1. We made it through together, Apothecary Diaries. I can't wait until season 2. Bye guys!